Hello everyone and welcome back to Crimson Valley Zoo. So in the last episode we looked at this area down here, so we covered the car parks and we covered the main entrance building which is here, and then we did have just a little overview of the plan for the whole zoo, so you can see it's all kind of laid out. So if you are interested in seeing what the zoo is about and the plans and stuff, then have a look at that first episode, and that is where you'll find all that out. So today we are going to look at this strip down here. So what we will do is start from this entrance building and just work our way up. So the first bit we're going to look at is this. So this is the main entrance plaza. I'll play it, and if we get lots of lag then I'll pause it again, but hopefully it will be okay. So this is the main entrance plaza, so the tickets and everything were back behind us, and this is the main walkway up here. So I wanted a kind of main plaza area where people come up into once they arrive, and then kind of before the main zoo part sort of goes up there. So this is the main plaza. So I have found a bit of inspiration where they had lots of flower beds and things, so I've done a few different flower beds dotted about in here. We've got some seating and things, lots of planting and in the kind of pinks and whites to match the kind of Crimson Valley Zoo logo and everything, the reds, pinks, and we've used the new Arctic roof as actual sides for the flower beds, which works quite well because you can change the colours and stuff, so they're quite nice, I think. So that is what we've got down here. This then leads on to two enclosures. So on the right, this is the Meerkat, so implied of course, Meerkat enclosure. We've got this undercover kind of viewing area down here, which I can't remember if I raised up or not. I think it might need raising a little, but yeah, just an undercover portion. And then down here is more exposed, obviously no protection, so fairly sort of sandy, but we've got a few plants and bits in there, some rock work, we've got some logs and tree stumps and things like that in there. Only one kind of bigger bush for some shade and just to break up the kind of sight line a little bit. And then in the front we've used the Australian desert wall as the main kind of barrier, because it fits quite well with that kind of deserty theme, Meerkat sort of theme. Got a higher bit there with some where there'd be some signage and stuff, and then yeah, just some smaller viewing windows dotted around, and there's one round the side here as well. We've used a couple of these enrichment devices as well. Obviously there's no meerkats in there. If we get them in game we'll try and put them in, but we will see whether we'll actually get them in the game if they're too small to be added or not. And then at the rear here we have got this little corridor that comes down like a little standoff where the keeper area, so instead of going from the inside you can just enter the enclosure from here. So yeah, you can kind of see another view of the enclosure here. Fairly sort of natural looking. We've used the kind of African, slight African theming, not overboard, but just a bit of that kind of woodwork and the thatched roof there, and then that joins onto the main entrance building, and this would be a small sort of indoor area for the meerkats in here. Which maybe we'll put a little window in when we get to doing this building, and we'll put a little den viewing window sort of thing in there. So that is the meerkats over there. We wanted them near the entrance, so I thought I would put them into this plaza. We've got a hedge behind to break that up as well. Then on this side, this one I'm quite proud of. You can see one of the inhabitants there, an implied one again, but this is a big aviary. Big implied aviary, and this is for great hornbills. So it's sort of the way it's built, it's kind of on a hill, so I'll zoom out so we can see it properly. It's on a hill, so the back half is higher and then it slopes down towards the front, and this is quite a big structure, wooden panelling and stuff on some of the portions, and then we've got a lot of chain link and stuff on the rest of it, and then the sort of metal poles as the main supports. And then inside we have got, as always, one of Drak's birds, the great hornbill there, but I did actually make this one myself, sort of an edited version of the existing one. I made the wings for it and slightly repositioned it a little bit, and the tail fanned out a bit to make it look like it was flying, because I thought it would just add that extra element of being alive even though it's still static, but it just has a kind of a nice look to it, and I think it turned out quite nicely. Obviously quite rough, the patterning, but I think from a distance it looks quite nice. It's flying up to that perch there. Inside we've got a few different tracks from just where people would be walking within the enclosure, but otherwise relatively overgrown on the floor, because obviously the bird's spending all the time in the trees, most of the time in the trees. And then we've got a few of these fake trees, got one over there and one in that corner, some real ones as well, and then we have got towards the back some rock work and stuff. We've got keeper entrance there, and the actual sort of pop holes for the birds themselves to get to the indoor portion, and that's all sort of mock rock sort of stuff there coming down. And then we've also got a little hornbill nest in the corner. They make these gaps in trees to nest in, so we've kind of replicated that. We've got an upside down fake tree and then a little slim hole nest entrance there. The actual aviary roof and stuff is all implied stuff, so this is using the Arctic lights. If you want to look at how to do aviaries and stuff, I have done a tutorial, especially for one of the other types we'll see in a minute, and that is about how to use the rope and the Arctic lights and stuff to make aviaries. This one is quite a simple one. It's just making one thing and duplicating it all the way up, and then I've done the same on the roof, just implied, not loads and loads of it, every tiny bit and only in one direction, but just something to give the impression that it is covered over when you look from certain angles. But yeah, that is the implied hornbill aviary. So obviously from down here, be looking up at them, they could fly towards the front and stuff like that, so just a slightly different perspective there. Then if we come down this way, we've got our actual zoo map, which we might attempt to do at some point when we've got more stuff laid out and set in stone, but that is where we'll have a nice zoo map so people can know where to go when they walk in. Some signs lining either side of this pathway going up, and then we get to this small little fork in the road, so just over here is just an extra little viewing point for the hornbill aviary on the higher level, so you can see more of the house and the nest site and things like that. We've got some implied signage there which I haven't actually done anything for, but just kind of implied. So yeah, that's just a little extra, all fenced off and things like that. And then down here is another aviary. So I've also done this small little feature here, this little waterfall, and that actually leads into the next enclosure. So this, you may have seen, if I've posted it on Discord, if you're in my Discord. I did do some work on it on Twitch as well, live, and I have posted it on like Reddit and things like that as well. This is my wading bird aviary, so all these birds I've actually made myself. Go down to the right level because these are one of those ones that look stupid from different angles like that, but from that angle they look pretty good. So we've got the pied avocet there, the black and white ones. We've got the Eurasian curlew, which are the brown ones there. We've got black winged stilt, long leggy ones, and then we have the Eurasian spoonbill as well. So 4 different types of that kind of bird, the kind of wading bird, ones that you'd find around water and stuff like that, in this big netted enclosure here. The actual enclosure itself, if we zoom out, is not the biggest one in the world, but it's not tiny. It's a kind of roughly circular shape, using the rope as netting instead for this one, coming from this central support there. And then we have got, obviously it's mostly sand there, a little bit of grass and stuff on the edges, and then some of this sort of tufty grass as if it's like sand dune type grass, in places as well. And then in the water we have got it lined and stuff, and we've got a few of these plants and some branches, things like that, a couple of actual fake trees and things in there, and bushes, but nothing massively in there. Just some things for the birds to perch on if they wanted to, and a little bit of this rock work in there as well at the back. And then this is the house here, which joins to the hornbill one as well, I think. Did I make it join? Yes, I did. So this would be the hornbill house as well, this sort of side, and then a corridor through there, and then this is the actual wading bird part, and then that is the pathway that leads down there towards the bird house. So yeah, this is the wading bird aviary, which I'm really proud of, and these birds I think actually look quite good. I'm very happy with them, and if you would like them for your zoo, if you're doing anything, then we have got them on the workshop as well now. So if you want any of these birds, they are in a group, all 4 of them on the workshop. I'll put a link in the description, as I always do. Next we move down this way. We'll ignore the zebras on the left for now. Not that way. Oh, we'll go a bit higher, I don't want to go in that sort of view. This is a toilet block. Not the most exciting thing, but relatively modern-ish, stylish looking, I think. I tried to make it look quite nice. It's based off a real building, not an actual toilet block, but a real building, I think. I don't think it was a toilet block. We've got this bit. This is one of my favourite features. I don't know why, but it's just quite nice. A little planted bit in the middle, fairly rough edges, little seating, some ferns and things. Nice big tree in the middle there, and then a smaller one leaning over. So yeah, that is a little toilet block over there. And then we come down this way. We have a walkway, a slightly raised walkway for the zebras over here, but we'll look at that in a sec. And then this comes down to the next enclosure, and this is the aardvarks. So we've got an indoor view bit over here, just a small little den on show where they might just be snuggled up. You see that in quite a lot of zoos. The only thing I might do is add a door or something here, just to stop the light getting in, obviously, during the day. And then a small implied little vivarium in there as well. So there could be some signage and bits and bobs in there. I might edit that in the future. And then on the outside, this is based, certain elements are based off real things that I've seen. These planted bits, flower beds, are based on that as well. We've got the keeper entrance there to the house, and then this is the actual building, or the actual enclosure, sorry. So similar to the Meerkats, but just slightly less dense. We've got a few little patches of shrubs and trees and bits, but fairly plain. Some little grassy bits, some rock work, one of these enrichment feeders, logs and bits like that. We've got some raised planters around the edges, just to add a little bit more green in the enclosure without being down at proper ground level. And then that is the actual house over there from inside. We've got a couple of viewing windows as well in the front, down here for the little kids, even though the fence isn't that high. And then the other thing you'll probably notice is these. So I wanted to do one of those kind of tunnels into the enclosure sort of thing. So these would actually, this is my attempt at making kind of replica glass bubbles that pop into the enclosure so kids can walk through. So on this side, this is actually going to be the playground anyway, so we'll have a playground there, and then down here is where the kids could crawl through and then poke their little heads into this the bubble and actually get a closer look at the aardvarks if they were around this area. So that's just a little extra feature that I want to include for the aardvarks. That would be quite a nice little extra. So yeah, that is the aardvark enclosure over there. Quite popular, it seems. Nice to have an actual one that we have in game. And then, speaking of animals we have in game, this is the zebras on this side. So this is quite a nice, relatively big enclosure here. We've got a few different elements in here. So we've got the house down here, quite simple, not overly detailed, and I haven't done the interior or anything. We've got some yards and things as well, but that is the house, which is accessed by this path down here. We've got a couple of patches of rock work, but I didn't want to go overboard, so we've got a little patch there and a little patch here just to kind of break these little sections up. So this is almost like a separate little portion here, and the same with that one. Got a little sand pit for them to dust bathe in and things like that. Not very planted, just a bit around these patches and a bit around that shelter, but otherwise short grasses. There's quite a few of them. I probably need to send a few off, but yeah, kind of dirty but a little bit grassy is the vibe that we've gone for in here. We have got a few trees dotted around, and then a few of these like rubbing posts we have as well, little scratching posts for them to rub themselves on. And then this little outdoor shelter, which is all custom built, all very wooden, kind of rusticy looking. So that is our little shelter there. So if they wanted to be in there, then if you're over here you could see them quite nicely. Standoff barrier all the way round as well, as they could bite if they were that way inclined. People put their fingers in, tried to feed them, or all sorts. Over here is another actual viewing area. So I didn't want it to be all exposed all the way around. I wanted there to be set kind of areas where you would be more likely to actually look at them. So this one over here is one. This goes all the way around. We've got this planted bit here, so you might catch a glimpse, but not much. The house over here, which hasn't got any viewing inside. And then obviously this portion, as we said earlier. And then a little respite there with some bushes, and then this main part here. And then this bit, again planted a little bit, another small viewing bit there, which I need to carry on the fencing around this portion to meet up here. But that little area here and here, and then just again more broken views on this part, and then that is all kind of fenced off all the way down there, all kind of screened off, sorry, so that wouldn't really be any of that stuff. They wouldn't really be visible. Oh, look at them all walking together, that's cool. They've just been fed. Can't imagine why they'd all be suddenly walking along like that, but that's pretty cool to see them all like that. So yeah, that is the zebras. So we zoom out, just have a slightly different view. So meerkats down here, main plaza, aviary there, the hornbill aviary, the wading aviary, toilets over here, down here aardvarks, and then over here, zebras. So that is our kind of base area, really, for the zoo. So that way we'll continue off into more kind of hoof stock and things like that. Big restaurant here. Here is our South American area, which I probably will do the next episode on. And then we have got various other bits and bobs that I've started to do as well, but I'm not sure exactly when they'll go in, but we'll kind of see how we go and develop the kind of plan as we go forward. As I said last time, things will change a little bit, chop and change as we go along. Enclosures might change shapes and or locations, things like that. One thing I have changed up slightly since the last episode, I've kind of made these certain areas. So this area, instead of just being cats in general, it'll be African cats. So we can have cheetahs in there. So that was going to be snow leopards. That will be cheetahs now. Some smaller cats and things there. That will still be sort of islands area, and then this will be more hoof stock area, and then up there we'll have a kind of more Asian area. I think maybe move the snow leopards and a couple of other bits that I've moved around up to that sort of part there, and then we've got some various other buildings and bits dotted around. So yeah, that is the main sort of part of our entrance area, or this side of the entrance area. That side is the South American bit, and then we will continue off down in various directions. So that is it for this episode. It's not greatly in depth, but I don't want to bore you with going into every tiny little detail. But as I said last time, I will upload this onto the workshop as a zoo file. So if you would like to come in and have a look at in greater detail at certain things that I've done, or how I've made buildings, or use some of these buildings, take bits, whatever you would like, or just have a look at the design, or even if you wanted to take the map that I've done and carry on building it yourself, then you can do so if you download it on the workshop, and I'll put the link to that in the description below as well. So hopefully you've enjoyed this whirlwind tour through the entrance area of Crimson Valley Zoo, and if you did, then please leave a comment, let me know what you think, and if you have any suggestions as well of things that I could do in this zoo, then put them in there as well. If you like the video, please leave a like if you like what you see, and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got a few series on the go. We've got this Crimson Valley Zoo series, we have my Whipsnake recreation, and we have got Planet Zookeeper, which I'm going to try and work on doing the next one, which will be to do with carnival buildings, I think was the vote for the Discord. So if you are interested in voting for the order of Planet Zookeeper episodes yourself, then join the Discord. You can also post your creations on there, you can ask questions, chat generally about Planet Zoo and real zoo stuff. So yeah, if you're interested, then the link to the Discord will be in the description below as well. You can also subscribe to me or follow me on Twitch and see live streams that I do, which might be building in here or doing other bits and bobs. And you can follow me on Twitter as well, and the link to that will be in the description below as well. So yeah, everything in the description, Steam, Blueprint stuff, workshop stuff, Twitter, Twitch, and yeah, anything else that you might want Discord, then have a look at the description. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.